There was one time at a meeting recently where I commented on your dress and your figure, and even though I meant it as a compliment, apparently it was still inappropriate. So for that, I'm sorry.
Number 10, the entirety of the November 7th, 2015 episode.
A lot of people are saying, Donald, you're the most amazing guy. You're brilliant, you're handsome, you're rich, you have everything going. The world is waiting for you to be president. So why are you hosting Saturday Night Live? Why?
When this episode aired, Donald Trump's presidential campaign was hardly taken seriously by the general public. At that time, Trump seemed like nothing more than a novelty candidate, propelling his candidacy forward because of his pre-existing cultural clout, celebrity status, and reported wealth.
Winning is tough. It's not that easy. If you think that's how it's going to be when I'm president, you're wrong. It's going to be even better.
His 2015 hosting appearance seemed like little more than an extension of this newfound source of attention. Look to the few sketches that Trump does appear in, like his monologue or the confounding sketch that depicts the former real estate magnate having won the 2016 election, which, as we're all aware of, would become the case on November 8th of that year.
You used to call me on the cell phone.
Lots of people dance like this.
Call me on the cell phone.
Number 9, Soda Shop.
Scoop, who's the pouty penny?
It's me. I'm the only girl who didn't get asked to the Spring Fling, Bebop, and Sock Hop.
Well, sounds to me like those boys are making a whopper of a mistake.
On the surface, this pitch-dark sketch feels on brand for disgraced comedian/frequent SNL host Louis C.K., who made an elevated form of blue-collar humor a hallmark of his stand-up act. However, when you take into account the comedian's multiple accusations of misconduct, Soda Shop gets uncomfortable really quickly.
That's for teenagers, Sam.
Well, then, wouldn't it wow the crowd to show up with an older man on your arm?
I'd go with Sam, if you asked me.
Well, I didn't ask you, stupid. I asked Louise.
The sketch, which makes light of ultra-puritanical 1950s American culture, features CK as the man behind the counter of said soda shop, who clearly has a thing for high school girls. While the object of the joke is perfectly clear, you may wince once CK's pleading with Cecily Strong's character begins to echo claims of abuse made against the comedian in 2017.
Sam, this is nice and all, but...
Wait, get down, Louise! Bang, bang! Did you see that?
What?
I killed 2 people.
Why? Why did you do that?
Well, I didn't like the way they were talking about you.
Number 8, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton Town Hall Debate Cold Open.
We just need to do one last thing.
Much better. Now let's get this nightmare started.
Remember the Trump stuff from earlier? Yeah, it gets even harder to watch. Playing Martha Raddatz, Cecily Strong inquires if she can just call Hillary Clinton the president at this point.
Please help us welcome the candidates. Republican nominee Donald Trump, and can we say this yet?
Probably fine.
President Hillary Clinton.
While crowds ate it up at the time, we can all look back now and cringe at how sure the mainstream media was that the former Secretary of State, Senator, and First Lady had the 2016 U.S. presidential election in the bag. SNL was quick to join in on counting Trump out, and this sketch serves as a harrowing reminder of how sorely seemingly everyone had misjudged the future president's appeal to voters.
Hi, Patrice. Let me start by walking over to you just as I practiced. Right, left, right, left, right, left, plant, speak.
Number 7, Kevin Spacey's 1997 monologue.
When you hear the name Kevin Spacey, you think one word, comedy. And now that I have the laugh market cornered, I thought I'd take a few minutes and show you Kevin Spacey's sentimental side.
There was a time when 2-time Oscar winner Spacey could do no wrong. Widely admired for his work on stage and screen, all of that came crashing down when the thespian was accused of several counts of misconduct and assault in late 2017.
Counting sheep when your lonely heart has learned its lesson.
The bone-chilling nature of the allegations, which included a number of underage accusers, cast a deeply off-putting shadow over Spacey's opening monologue from his January 11th, 1997 hosting appearance. The actor sang a cover of Frank Sinatra's In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning, and all the while subtitles, jokingly, charged him with violent, bizarre behavior. That would unfortunately prove all too accurate 20 years later.
She would call in the wee small hours of the morning.
Number 6, Abby Elliott's Brittany Murphy impression.
It was reported this week that actress Brittany Murphy was fired from her upcoming film The Caller for being a detriment to production, and oh no.
Beloved performer Murphy, depending on who you ask, was either fired or removed herself from the set of the film The Caller in November 2009. She personally chalked it up to creative differences. The incident was soon parodied on SNL, with Abby Elliott playing a ditzy, confused, somewhat mean-spirited version of Murphy on Weekend Update.
I'm really honored to be here, hosting Saturday Night Live.
No, Brittany, you're not hosting.
Yeah.
Elliott's Murphy appeared out of the loop and under the impression that she was that episode's host. Tragically and eerily, the real Murphy would die of pneumonia just a few weeks later, on December 20th, 2009. The segment is no longer shown as part of reruns of the episode, which was hosted by Blake Lively and featured Rihanna as a musical guest.
I thought you were shooting a movie right now.
Yeah, they fired me. Yeah.
Brittany, that's too bad.
Number 5, Harassment Charlie.
I just want to say to all of you that I am deeply and truly sorry for anything inappropriate that I may have done while working here.
Yeah, my bad.
In the early weeks of January 2018, Oscar-nominated actor James Franco was riding a career high off of the strength of his docudrama The Disaster Artist. That is, until allegations of misconduct against the filmmaker bubbled up, with the Los Angeles Times reporting on January 11th that 5 women had accused Franco of inappropriate behavior while working as a teacher or instructor.
Amanda, there was one time at a meeting recently where I commented on your dress and your figure, and even though I meant it as a compliment, apparently it was still inappropriate. So for that, I'm sorry.
Keeping that in mind, this SNL sketch from less than a month becomes deeply disturbing to watch. In a deeply unfortunate case of art imitating life, Franco plays a corporate CFO who's fired for making advances on his female employees. Oof.
How are you okay with that?
Shut up, man. That's just Charlie.
God, he's a sweet old man.
Glenn, you can't fire Charlie. It's the holidays.
Believe me, I don't want to. I wish I was just firing Doug, too.
What?
Number 4, Colin Quinn's eerily prescient Weekend Update joke.
Texas Governor George W. Bush this week blamed President Clinton for the recent increase in gas prices and said if he were president, he'd abolish the gas tax and, if necessary, go to war with Alaska and steal their oil.
After the terrible tragedy of 9/11 occurred, NYC Mayor Rudy Giuliani appeared on SNL to cautiously help the show usher in a new era. However, this wouldn't have been the first time Saturday Night Live mentioned the individual elements that made up the tragic events of September 11th, 2001.
In international news, a Hong Kong-based news magazine reported this week that suspected terrorist leader Osama bin Laden is dying of kidney failure. The reclusive bin Laden is reportedly hiding in the mountains of Afghanistan and is on a dialysis machine.
On a March 18, 2000 episode hosted by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, a quickly forgotten series of remarks made by Weekend Update host Colin Quinn now take on an unfortunate second layer. In quick succession, Quinn addresses recent news featuring George W. Bush and oil prices, Osama bin Laden, and a thwarted airplane hijacking.
A judge sentenced a convicted murderer to be strangled, cut into 100 pieces, and then thrown into a vat of acid. And that was the plea bargain.
Number 3, Don't Look Back in Anger.
They all thought I'd be the first to go. I was one of those live fast, die young, leave a good-looking corpse types, you know? But I guess they were wrong.
An early period sketch that's as heartbreaking as it is hilarious, this season 3 segment finds cast member John Belushi playing himself. The tragic aspect, Belushi plays an elderly version of himself who visits the graves of his SNL cast members, proclaiming that he's the last surviving original cast member.
This is a not ready for primetime cemetery. On up.
As SNL and comedy fans in general sadly know all too well, Belushi was the first cast member to die. Making the sketch even more difficult to watch is the fact that Belushi pokes fun at his own hard-partying lifestyle, which would ultimately be his undoing. Belushi died in March 1982, aged only 33, of a drug overdose.
Why did I live so long? They're all dead. I'll tell you why. Because I'm a dancer.
Number 2, Chris Farley's final hosting appearance.
Thank you, Chris. I've really learned some lessons tonight. You know what I've learned? I've learned lessons about responsibility. Being responsible, not only to myself,
to the people around me. I mean,
SNL veteran and overall comedy legend Farley tragically met a similar fate to John Belushi, whom the former had often cited as one of his showbiz idols. The energetic performer even died at the same age as, and in a similar fashion to Belushi, aged 33 at the time of his death on December 18, 1997.
Chris, do you remember any of the John Travolta show?
no, not any of it. But that was then. This is now. This time I'm not just talking the talk, but I'm going to be walking the walk, boss.
Knowing that fact makes watching Farley's only hosting appearance even more painful. Commentators in the years since the beloved SNL cast member's passing have noted that Farley looks unwell throughout the episode, his voice hoarse and typically athletic comedy at a low. This episode marked Farley's final television appearance before his death.
If you're as good a lawyer as you are an athlete, you're going to be doing a lot of lawyer practicing in a van down by the river.
Number 1. The Menendez Trial.
Is it your testimony that you and your brother Eric, in fact, had nothing to do with the murder of your parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez?
That's correct.
Long before a 2024 wave of support that saw the Los Angeles District Attorney recommend resentencing them, public opinion of the Menendez brothers was dire. The two were mostly viewed as deeply unsympathetic rich brats who had brutally taken their parents' lives as a means of claiming their substantial inheritance. While in recent years, Lyle and Eric's claims of abuse have been taken more seriously.
My father said Danny and Jose Jr. didn't deserve to have any official records of their existence because they were weak and not good tennis players.
The early 90s cultural climate couldn't have taken them less seriously. Take, for example, this cringeworthy sketch starring host John Malkovich as Eric and Rob Schneider as Lyle, ostensibly mocking the brothers' lack of tangible proof. Decades later, this sketch has been considerably reevaluated for its insensitive portrayal of victims of abuse.
The defense will be happy to produce Eric and Lyle Menendez, provided that Danny and Jose Menendez Jr. are allowed to go get them.
Are there any SNL sketches that are hard for you to watch nowadays? Let us know in the comments.
They don't have my talent, my money, or especially my good looks. But you know what? They're not bad.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.